This quiz is a mixture of common sense tests, brain teasers and trivia. There's 50 questions and your goal is to score 40 or more correct answers. The questions are quite quick, you've got about 10 seconds to answer, so think fast because about 78% of people will fail. What's more, I'll drop in some interesting facts as we go, and if you need more time, just pause the video. So if you're ready, here we go. When does New Year's Day come before Christmas Day? In leap years, only in certain time zones, or every year? And the answer is every year. Who is more likely to get struck by lightning, a human or a giraffe? The answer is a giraffe is 30 times more likely to get struck. What can humans always see, but our brain blurs out? Do you know it? The answer is our nose. All presidents are born in the USA. Is that true or false? And that's false. Many countries have presidents. You roll a 6-sided die. What is the probability of rolling an even number? That is 50%. How does evil become live? Can you work it out? The answer is, spell it backwards. Sign language is the same worldwide in every country. Is that true or false? That is false. A kilo of saffron costs more than a kilo of gold. Is that true or false? And it's expensive, but not that expensive. That's false. If 20% of a boat is below the waterline and the tide rises by 10%, what percentage of the boat will then be below the waterline? 18, 20 or 22? The answer is, it stays the same at 20%. What can you hold without using your hands? The answer is your breath, but you could also have your thoughts or your tongue. What speed must you average to drive 90 miles in 90 minutes? 60, 90 or 120 miles per hour? And the answer is 60 miles per hour. During its life cycle, a hurricane can expend more energy than the most powerful thermonuclear bomb. Is that true or false? And that one is true. Who is more likely to live to 100? A 70-year-old man or a 10-year-old girl? And the answer, on average, a 10-year-old girl. Can cows walk downstairs? What do you think? Yes or no? The answer is yes they can, but they don't like to do it. Can babies blink? Yes or no? And yes they can, but at a slower rate than adults. How many times a day is a broken clock correct? And the answer is 2 times a day. Would a gun still fire in space? Yes or no? And the answer is yes it would. Which weighs more, an average 1 kilometre by 1 kilometre cumulus cloud or an elephant? What do you reckon? And the answer is by far the cloud. Joy's mum has 3 girls. Their names are April, May, and what's the 3rd child's name? And the answer is Joy. Are there more insects or fish in the world? Will you pick the correct one? The answer is insects. Cats on average live longer than dogs. Is that true or false? And are you a dog or a cat person? The answer is cats live longer. Does the location of Earth's magnetic north and south poles move? Yes or no? The answer is yes, they do. Can a commercial aircraft door be opened at cruising altitude? Yes or no? And the answer is no, not at high altitude. Is there sound below 0 decibels? Yes or no? And the answer is yes, there is. The maximum horsepower of a horse is 1 horsepower. Is that true or false? And that's false, the maximum is up to 15. Which year immediately precedes the year AD 1? Is it AD 0, 1 BC, or 0 BC? And the correct one there is 1 BC, as there was no year 0. The deepest part of the Pacific Ocean is deeper than Mount Everest's height. Is that statement true or false? That is true by around 2 kilometers. Which pair of fractions and decimals is incorrectly matched? Did you work it out in time? A quarter is not 0.40. If today is Monday, what is 2 days after the day before tomorrow? The answer is Wednesday. Was the Caesar salad named after Julius Caesar? Yes or no? No, it wasn't, and I hope you enjoy these little interesting facts that pop up. Where in the kitchen is a magnetron? In the refrigerator, air fryer, or microwave oven? The answer is it's part of a microwave oven. Does the moon get earthquakes? Yes or no? And this is a bit of a trick question. The answer is no, because they're called moonquakes. Red telephones were only allowed to be used by governments. Is that true or false? And I made that one up, it's false. By the time he was 16, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was completely deaf. Is that true or false? And that's false, it was Beethoven who went deaf. How many mummies have been found in the pyramids of Giza? None, 1, or 3? And the answer is none, because the aliens took them. Albert Einstein dropped out of school at the age of 15. Is that true or false? And that one surprisingly is true. Which is the odd one out? Tunisia, Libya, or Syria? The answer is Syria, as the other two are in Africa. When is the Earth closest to the Sun? In January or July? And it certainly doesn't feel like it if you live in the Northern Hemisphere. The answer is January. Does an octopus have bones? Yes or no? The answer there is no. Rice is the seed of a type of grass. Is that one true or false? And that is true. What is the sum of all the interior angles of a rectangle? 180 or 360 degrees? The correct one there, 360 degrees. Which is the sweetest fruit in the world? Mango or watermelon? And according to the Guinness Book of Records, the answer is mango. How many edges does a cube have? The answer is 12. Only female bees can sting. Is that true or false? That's true. Which contains more germs on average? A toilet seat or used dish sponge? And the answer is the sponge. Which is the coldest on average? A home freezer, Antarctica or space? The coldest is space. Which has less calories per 100 grams? Butter or a Mars bar? The answer is a Mars bar. Does cold water boil quicker than warm water? Yes or no? And that one's a common myth that's not true. Tooth enamel is harder than ordinary steel. Is that true or false? And that's true, but I wouldn't recommend testing it out. Fires need oxygen, but is oxygen flammable by itself? No, it's not, which is just as well given that it makes up 21% of the Earth's atmosphere. I've got one more brain teaser for you. Drop your answer to this and whether or not you pass the overall quiz in the comments down below. So for all you smart people out there, if space is a vacuum, then why doesn't it suck all the air from the Earth's atmosphere out into space? Answer me that. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.